I want to formally apologize for convincing any of you guys to buy Broken Arrow. It is truly one of the worst developed pieces of garbage I have ever seen. The developers are truly some of the dumbest and least trustworthy. The game is truly a complete waste of anyone's time who plays it, and I apologize. Sorry. Some other games coming we'll keep an eye out for. Saluting emoji. Broken Arrow is kind of in the bin. It is sitting at mostly negative on Steam, and it's going down. It just keeps going down. Now, the really interesting part is, so this is when the update came out, right? The latest update, which I did a video on, which will be linked in the description, basically it stopped the massive Russian OP-ness, which is nice. And now the Americans are too strong, which is pretty funny. Uh, and before that, things were actually starting to look up. Look, you see 63% positive. Okay, that's 32. 50, 54, 69. Basically, you need 69% or 70% for this to go blue. Okay, and then it says very positive, and then there's overwhelmingly positive. But basically, all that matters is blue, yellow, red. If it's red, nobody buys it. If it's yellow, few people buy it. If it's blue, lots of people buy it. It's as simple as that. I mean, we can sort of pretend that we read the words. We don't read the words, we look at the colours. And if it's below 40, it goes to red. Now it's going to red. The mixed one, sorry, the full reviews, right? The full for the time of the game, that's probably never going to go to red because there was a review bomb with this and it's automatically taken out of consideration. And that's where most of the bad sentiment is kind of like it's not included in the score. And there's a lot of people who buy the game, and we'll talk about this more later. I've got some very interesting data to show you about this. There's lots of people who basically bought the game, played it for 10 minutes, and said it was great, and then, and then haven't picked it up again. And they're not going to come back and negatively review it. But in terms of the recent reviews, things just keep getting worse and worse. So you see, before the update, it was, 60, 50, 50, 60, or that's closer to 70. This one is 30. The update comes out and it absolutely craters. So the first thing they did was made it so that Linux users just couldn't play because of the way they implemented easy anti-cheat. And then they fixed that, but then Linux users would constantly have stutters, like the game would just constantly freeze up on them. Then they claim to have fixed that. I'm not entirely sure. A lot of people can't play because of the way they implemented the easy anti-cheat. And essentially, they promise next update will fix everything, and then the next update comes out and people aren't happy because it doesn't fix everything, right? I maintain that Broken Arrow's greatest asset is its marketing. The marketing for the game has been much, much better than the actual game, and that's why it's sold so well, and that's why the review score's so low, because people basically got conned into buying the game. As you saw with that review at the start, that's from one of the biggest YouTubers covering the game. The guy's got like 100,000 subs on his second channel. This Broken Arrow channel was his second channel on his primary channel. He covers like Tarkov stuff. And after the review, 41, 31, 28, 27, 35, 32, 41, 19, 35. Today it's 53. So that's a good day, I guess, right? And if you read some of these reviews, they're all the same thing, right? The game is fun when it works. You basically, as the player count continues to crater, the queue times keep getting longer and longer. So you'll be searching for over 15 minutes, which is absurd. Wano, people complain about Wano searching. I can find a game within 5 minutes for a 1v1. In a 10v10, it might take you. Well, actually, in 1v1, it takes me about 3 minutes. In 10v10, it might take you 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. In sort of 2v2 and 3v3, it does take longer because people just sit in the lobby and then they kick people they think they're going to beat and they're not going to beat and stuff like that. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, yeah, so, worst game I've played in years and so on. The interesting data I wanted to show you is this. So this was provided by Lil Bad Witch. If you followed Warno, you probably have heard of this person. And basically, this is Broken Arrow's review score broken down by hours played. So if you've played over 100 hours, you have a 34% positive review of the game, right? The reviews for people who've played over 100 hours are 34% positive. The people who've played for less than 10 hours are 61% positive. Obviously, the people who play less than two have 39%, and that's basically they bought it, they haven't liked it, they've refunded it. Okay, that's fair enough. If you miss your refund window, or you don't immediately notice a problem. Basically, the more you play, the worse you feel about the game. Look at this. It literally just goes from green to red. Less than 10 hours, 61%. Over 100 hours, 34%. And you just see that color gradient. Here's Warno. Warno is Broken Arrow's biggest competitor. There's a lot of bad blood between these two studios because the lead game designer on this quit Eugen Systems, and a bunch of them, I don't know if he was involved in this, sued the company on their way out, and some of them like completely trashed a lot of things. So to this day, there are two Eugen Systems YouTube accounts because one was owned by one of the guys who rage quit, and he just took all the passwords with him. So Warno, right? You get obviously, yeah, the people who play less than 2 hours, they know it's a big problem, they quit, but 62 is still higher than 39, right? But the more you play, generally, people seem to like it a lot. I'll admit, over 100%, it goes down to 74%, but that's more than twice as high as 35% positive. And, it strikes me that the game just has a lot more longevity. Now, there was something else interesting that I wanted to show you, but I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I might have to do a brief cut here because I don't want to waste your time. No, no, I found it. This is negative reviews sorted by like population of like words in all the negative reviews. Once again, thanks to Lil Bad Witch. Sorry, I didn't explain that properly. It's just counting words and how many times they show up in negative reviews, and from that you can extrapolate what kind of issues people are complaining about. Number one issue: devs. Now you'll notice that doesn't include the word developer or dev or developers. It's just the four-letter string devs has shown up more than any other word, presumably. I mean, I assume they'll have excluded and I and stuff like that. But more than almost any other word, the word devs, right? And that goes back to that thing Armchair General said. It's the devs. Second one, units. Third one, cheaters. There's still loads of cheaters. Fourth one, balance. And then fifth one is like players. So who knows? And then anti, that'll be anti-cheat. Cheating and cheat are separate from cheaters. So if you add those together, lots of people don't like Russians, apparently. They need to fix the game. What can I say? So here's the player count, and it just keeps going down. And if you ask them about this on their Discord, they say things like the devs generally don't communicate. It's the community managers who are owned by the publisher. They say things like most games have this kind of drop, right? So that's minus 47%, minus 46%, minus 36%, and minus 20% per month. It's just going straight off a cliff, right? Can't select that for some reason. But you see, number go down. Compare that to another popular game which had a very rough launch, Age of Empires 4. And this was like 38,000 all-time peak. Age of Empires 4, very big game. 73,000 all-time peak. At the start, it was a very, very rough launch. You could get a spear and stab somebody on the other side of the screen with that spear because there were techs that were bugged that would give you extra range, and you could just get them as many times as you wanted. Anyway, minus 40, minus 20, minus 30, minus 20, right? So you see that it was able to maintain its player count a lot longer, right? So 64,000 to 11,000, so that's a drop to 1/6 over 1, 2, 3, 4 months, right? And if it was 3 months, then it's 1/4. As you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 38,000 to 6,000, which 6 is a 36. So actually, well, it's actually not too bad off. Oh, okay, interesting. There was one more thing I wanted to show you. These are the win rates. This is why people are getting mad. So before the patch, Russia had this is win rate, daily win rate over time, right? So it's just a line, it shows the win rate over time. Russia was just winning more than America every single day for months and months and months. So if you go back here, sadly, you can't scroll further back, but this has been going on for a long time. Patch comes out, America's winning more, and it just completely 180s. It's very funny. It's very funny. Yeah, so a lot of basically before the Americans were mad and now the Russians are mad. What is there to say? They did say on the 25th, so that's Tuesday, they would be releasing a live stream of their roadmap. A live stream of their roadmap. If you just bear with me here, we got a leaked version of the roadmap here. You're gonna love this leaked roadmap version. Found this on the subreddit. Don't look at who made it. It wasn't just me. And as you can see, so in 2025, they're going to buff Russia and nerf USA. And then in 2026, they're going to buff USA and nerf Russia. And then in 2020, so basically, this is just going to keep swinging like a double helix, like a DNA, right? And then in 2027, they're going to buff Russia, nerf USA, and add China. Then in 2028, they're going to buff China, nerf USA, and nerf Russia. And in 2029, they're going to nerf China, buff USA, and buff Russia. So we've got a lot to look forward to. But yes, I will be covering the big reveal on the 25th after it's happened, right? There'll be a video going up, and we'll see what their actual roadmap is. This is obviously a bit of a piss take, and I hope you have a lovely day.